Hello, I'm Phil Liggett and welcome to our special highlights programme of the 83rd Tour de France, which has now reached the French Alps. This three-week event has not enjoyed the best of weather and there have been some surprise retirements along the way. Let us now go back to the start on June the 29th. After 5 wins in a row, Miguel Indurain was giving nothing away as he reported for his compulsory medical in Hertogenbosch. He was looking for a record 6th win. The Dutch town was ready to host the start of the 83rd Tour with a novel way of keeping everyone dry by starting the Prologue time trial from inside the Brabenhallen itself. 12 months ago, in heavy rain, Chris Boorman ended his brief visit to the race with a crash that also ended his season. Promising a more cautious approach this time, when he finished, he was on top of the leaderboard. It seemed like a dream start, and then came Alex Zülle. Here is the arrival now of Alex Zülle. There's only 2 men to finish. Riis has failed at 11 minutes and 4 seconds. So watch now as Zülle, this is a real threat to Chris Boorman. Here's a superb bike rider. He lines up for the finish now. Look at his face. He's gone for it for sure. He has gone for the best time, Alex Zülle. Has he done enough? He is now going to flick left. He'll line up to the finish. We will see the time on the screen. The time to beat is Chris Boorman. It's going to be a very good time. It's desperately close. Alex Zülle is going to take it. A superb ride by Alex Zülle. Understandably disappointed, Chris had put common sense first this time.
To be frank, I'm surprised it was that close. I thought I'd be a 3rd, maybe 4th. I was going okay down the straights, but as I said, there's no way I could take the risks on the corners. Very frustrating, but you just have to make the decisions. It's a 3-week race.
The result had quickly projected the Tour favourites as well, and behind Zülle and Boorman they were lining up. Berzin, Olano, Indurain, Jalabert and Rominger had conceded little time. Next day, the open roads of Holland were less hospitable. Narrow roads, roundabouts and plenty of spectators gave the race around Hertogenbosch a nervous beginning. Crashes came all too often, and despite the acrobatic escape by some, they would be responsible for a number of early retirements. The most noted being Hernan Buenajora, the Colombian who finished 10th a year ago. At the finish, the sprinters were in full flight. 2 kilometres to go now. The Seiko team of the man with the red shorts, Cipollini, is about 4 or 5 men down, has got him right where they want him in their slipstream, and the train is beginning now to lead him out towards the line.
Well, this is the ideal way to lead out a sprint. Have 3 or 4 teammates. The man at the front now will do a long turn of about 1 kilometre, then they'll try and keep the speed up so that nobody can come round that man Mario Cipollini and swamp him and put him into a position where he has to make manoeuvres to come round them. Another man moving up there very cleverly as well in a black and red jersey, if you can spot him, is André Schmil, a superb sprinter as well.
And he is a member of the Belgian Lotto team, André Schmil, former winner of the Queen of the Classic races, the Paris-Roubaix. And Indurain still there in the centre right of our picture in that white helmet, actually mixing it with all of them now, but a lot of riders are getting mixed up here. We've also got the German champion creeping in now. Christoph Hennich's just gone off picture to the left, and he's thinking of his team leader Eric Zabel, who got 2 stage wins last year. This is going to be a terrific finish.
Well, coming down the outside in the red jersey now, in fact, is Bjarne Riis, the man who finished 3rd last year. There is Schmil on the left-hand side. The impetus has gone out of the Seiko lead-out. They didn't have what it had to take to keep the pressure on. They knew they had to keep Mario Cipollini up there. There is André Schmil leaning on somebody. The sprint is going to go right down to the line here. In fact, Johan Museo is starting to move up there now, but again, Seiko take over control. They keep the pressure on. Cipollini moving up into 3rd place.
Dead straight to the finish, and there is no turns now, but in fact the Seiko rider's had enough. He's swung across, and now it's going to be to the pure sprinters. That's Schmil, the little man with the black helmet on. He's been washed away. Now we've got the riders from Bogart, I think it is, from the Rabobank team. We've got Museo on the far left. Now comes Cipollini in that green jersey. Always looks to see who's around him before he makes the final kick. Usually comes up the barriers. That's why we can't see him at the minute. But here he comes now. Zabel is in there as well. Now Cipollini in green. Blyleven is on the far right. Cipollini's coming through very, very quickly, and he's been boxed out of it. He has been boxed out of it on the line, and the surprise winner from the Gant team right on the line was Frédéric Moncassin, a terrific sprinter in his own right, but I bet he never thought he was going to climb over the shoulders of Mario Cipollini today, but he did. The winner, Frédéric Moncassin of the Chris Boorman's Gant team. Mario Cipollini was later disqualified from that 3rd place after forcing Jerome Blyleven's and Moncassin into the barriers. There would be happier times for the flamboyant Italian. So this is the confirmed result of the stage. A win for Moncassin. Blijleven second, Jan Ullrich promoted to third, and Nicola Minali is fourth. Mario Cipollini is pushed back to 37th and last of the group. Overall then, Alex Zula keeps his leader's yellow jersey. Evgeny Berzin comes into Bourman's place now, second overall. Abraham Olano, the world champion, is third. Frédéric Moncassin is fourth. Chris Bourman slips down to 8th place, 17 seconds behind Alex Zula. The very next day, after crossing Belgium, the complete field roared into Wascal in France, and Cipollini was ready now to show the world his talents to the full. Well, speeds now, I would think, are heading up towards 35 kilometres an hour as we race up towards the 2 kilometres to go banner. The boys in the red, white and blue of the TVM team from Holland have got the top 2 places, but they want to make sure Jerome Blijlevens is right in there with them. The Saeco riders are all behind, and we can see that their man is there, and so too is the green jersey of Jan Ullrich, who is also lining up for the sprint. Watching out for the white jersey of the GAN rider, Frédéric Moncassin. A place in the first 3. His reward will be the yellow jersey tonight. The GAN team know it. They're very close to giving France a great start in France for the Tour.
A lot of talking going on at this time of the race. I should say shouting, really, because instructions will be given from Mario Cipollini to the man in front of him to move him forward a little bit more, to get him into the position that he needs to be in to start that sprint. Instructions from other team riders too, as the Saeco team now have decided this is the time they can start to put the pressure on again. They're still organised. You see, they had a little bit of a break at 4 or 5 kilometres to go there, and now Cipollini must be in about 7th or 8th position. His team will sacrifice themselves up to the last 600 or 700 metres, and then it's up to Cipo to do his own work.
So the Saeco boys have got themselves much better organised. A long line now as they head up towards the finish, and indeed not far off the shoulder of the green jersey of Mario Cipollini is the green jersey of the Tour de France. That is Jan Ullrich. I've caught sight too of the Telekom rider, which is Eric Zabel. 2 stage wins in the sprint for him last year at Bordeaux and Charleroi. Is he going to start early this time out? And now it looks like it could well be Liam van Bon is also moving up here to try and get this. Or is it Vyacheslav Yekimov? It is. Yekimov is going clear. He is the man who has the ability. Once held 11 world records when he rode for the Soviet Union as an international amateur. Probably one of the few men who can ride away from a race at 35 kilometres an hour, and he's gone for it. And he's gone well clear. That has caught the sprinters on one leg. They better start rethinking quickly. Yekimov looks over his shoulder. This is a man of pure speed and class. He rocked the world at the Olympic Games when he took a gold medal, and now he's trying to ride them off his wheel. At the moment he's done it, but the sprinters are going to have to start. Cipollini's the rider in the green on the left, dodging in and out of the wheels. The other green on the right is Jan Ullrich. Zabel is the rider with the pink sleeves, and goodness me, Yekimov might well finish them off. Yekimov is coming on the left. Now Jan Ullrich is coming. He's ahead of Cipollini, Ullrich and Moncassin. Ullrich is going to get the victory, or will it be Cipollini on the right? Cipollini dead centre. Cipollini is going to do it. Revenge is sweet, Mario. He takes it this time in a beautifully clean sprint. Mario Cipollini takes the stage, and what a great stage it was. And after that great sprint, a win for Mario Cipollini. In 2nd place, Jerome Blijlevens, and 3rd, the Czech rider Jan Ullrich. That evening, it was champagne all round for the Saeco Squadra. They'd done their job well. But it was still a race of seconds. Frédéric Moncassin was poised now to take over the race lead. He'd closed in on Zula by taking advantage of the small time bonuses along the route. Plunging due south, the 3rd stage to Nogent-sur-Oise faced strong winds which slowed the field. Moncassin was frustrated at all 3 time bonus sprints. So, to take the leader's yellow jersey, he had to finish in the top 3 at Nogent. They're on the right of the road now. Zabel trying to come through on the left with little Jan Ullrich, and Moncassin is also there. So you know he's going to look for the sprint, Paul.
He will do, and he's a tough sprinter as well. It's a very slow sprint up to the top, because there's the last kilometre. There's an attack going down the left-hand side. Looks very much to me as if it's Francis Moreau. There are so many Moreaus in this race at the moment, but this is Francis Moreau, the former world champion. He's trying to pick the pace up because he could see that there his teammate Frédéric Moncassin was lying in 6th place. He's on the left-hand side there, and he wants to keep the speed high because he realises a top 3 place could give Moncassin the yellow jersey, but Mario Cipollini's got a great position. He's lying 4th.
Well, it looks as though Seiko are going to launch Cipollini at the finish again. Andre Schmil trying to get on the action on the far right in that crash helmet. But just look at this now. Moncassin is getting in on the picture. He's got the wheel at Cipollini. Remember, a top 3 finish for Moncassin will give him yellow. Now the last Seiko man before they launch the torpedo at the line. He'll go hard. Zabel's coming on the left-hand side. Cipollini's leaving it late, but he's gone now. Zabel on the left, Cipollini in the centre. Zarada has missed out, I think. Moncassin in the white is third. Now the battle for the line. Baldato as well, but it's going to be Zabel, and it's going to be on the line. Wow, I don't know. I think it might be Zabel, but it was very, very close. If I'm a betting man, I'll go for Zabel, but Cipollini, I think, will finish in second place there. Now let's have a look, and watch out too for the third place finish. If it's the white jersey, he will get the yellow one, but in fact Zabel came from midway down, and this is where Cipollini should have gone. He allowed Zabel a lot of run at the line, then he starts to rock and roll and wind it up. See to the white jersey of Moncassin, he needs the third place finish and the small time bonus. Zabel had a lot of speed at this point, but the big man, the fastest man in the world, so he tells us, was winding up. And then came the challenge of Jan Zarada onto the shoulder of Moncassin. Moncassin will get the third place, Zabel gets the win, Cipollini gets second, and yellow will go to Frédéric Moncassin tonight. Moncassin took the lead by 7 seconds, with everyone else dropping back 1 place. It seemed his lead was anticipated as well by the family, who were on hand to join in the celebrations that night. The coveted symbol of the Tour, however, will quickly find a new owner. The very next day, on the road to the Lac de Madine, 5 riders escaped. Riding at first in defensive mode, French champion Stefan Ello, Moncassin's teammate, soon realised the field was not going to catch up. As the highest placed rider in the break, GAN team tactics changed, and the orders came to go for the yellow jersey. At the finish, Tour first-timer Cyril Sogran of France produced the perfect finish, while Ello came fourth. The break had a lead of more than 4 minutes, so the GAN strategy had worked. The team had simply changed the wearer of the maillot jaune. On Thursday, the slow average speed caused by the poor weather was continued on the roads to Besançon. Mario Cipollini had chosen not to start, and crashes again highlighted the long ride. Chris Boardman, among the fallers, checked his front wheel and then continued. The American Lance Armstrong was sure who was to blame for the crash, so the Frenchman Gilles Bouvard was on the sharp end of the Texans' feelings. The field had all regrouped by Besançon, and the sprinters fought out their last rendezvous before the mountains. Dutchman Jerome Blijlevens, twice second so far, gets the better here of Frédéric Moncassin. In third place, Eric Zabel. Now all of the big sprinters had won a stage apiece. Overall, though, there was no change. After a week of flat roads, the race arrived in the mountains on Friday, and as the field squared up to the Duras and Haute-Savoie, the American Lance Armstrong became the latest to retire. He was complaining of a sore throat. The wind relented somewhat, but the rain increased in ferocity as the field sped towards Aix-les-Bains. Laurent Jalabert, unseen so far, played his first cards and won the last time bonus sprint of the Tour at Romilly. By the finish, the rain was heavier, and thoughts of victory by Jalabert were quickly forgotten as the Dutchman Michael Bogart took all of the risks to win the stage. Jalabert finished third. So overall, Ello kept his lead, but Alex Zuller was now up to third. Jalabert had improved to fourth. Britain's Chris Boardman had also had a good day and moved up to 10th. On Saturday, the first high mountains of the Tour towered over Chambéry as the 166 survivors faced the 199 kilometres to Les Arcs. The Col de la Madeleine and Cormet de Roseland were the 2 giants of the day. The race ended after another tough climb to the ski station itself. This was to be one of the most remarkable days in recent Tour history. As the Col de la Madeleine began, first Laurent Jalabert, thought to be thinking of overall victory, began to fall back. And by the end of the day, he would lose almost 13 minutes. On the next climb, the Roseland, overall leader Stefan Ello was also in difficulty. As the top approached, he was forced to stop. The pain in his knee caused by tendinitis was simply too much to bear. Ello, unashamedly crying, was forced out of the Tour de France. He became only the 12th rider in the race's history to give up when wearing the maillot jaune. On the descent, the dramas continued with this spectacular crash as the Belgian rider Johan Bruneel plunged off the road. His life almost certainly saved by 2 trees growing out of the wall of the ravine. Yet the Belgian, who treated the situation as if it happened every day, simply dusted himself down, got back on his bike and finished only 7 minutes behind the day's winner. At the front, the final climb to Les Arcs was beginning, and the Frenchman Luc Leblanc, himself the victim of 2 falls already in this year's race, was heading for the stage win. Leblanc's superb solo, though, quickly became secondary news as the unexpected happened. 3 kilometres from the end, Miguel Indurain, who in 5 years has never been seen to be fallible, was suddenly in desperate trouble. The 5-time champion fell back, riding at first with Alex Zülle, himself suffering from 2 falls this day. But then, with his body dehydrated, Indurain was alone. And so, as Luc Leblanc passes under the 1 kilometre banner, Miguel Indurain and Alex Zülle have been dropped by the rest of the group. And this is Indurain here in desperate trouble because he's now been dropped off the wheel of Alex Zülle.
He's almost 2.5 minutes behind Luc Leblanc on the climb, so he really has lost an awful lot of time. In fact, Garmendia has come back up. He has recovered, gone straight by Indurain, and he will try and pace Alex Zülle back into the race because, don't forget, there's still 2 weeks to go, but Indurain really is going through all kinds of hell.
Well, many of the great riders of tours gone by, like Jacques Anquetil, have been in situations like that, have recovered and gone on to win the Tour, so don't write this man off yet. But we just simply have never seen him in trouble before, and a lot of riders ahead of him are going to take a lot of spirit from this.
You can almost feel the pain in his legs there. You see how slowly he's pedaling. This is a man who normally has a very high cadence when it comes to riding in the mountains. I think his legs have really suffered from the cold weather. He just can't get the gear over at all. But Luc Leblanc has got the power with him today because he's flying up this mountain.
Luc Leblanc, a previous stage winner in the Tour de France at Hautecam, is riding to the win on one of the most dramatic days in recent years in any Tour de France. Coming up towards the finish at Les Arcs, the French are having such a wonderful tour. We see the exit, though, today of the Frenchman Stefan Ello, the race leader. We now see the ascension of the Frenchman Luc Leblanc to a stage winner. And he approaches the line now. Luc Leblanc is going to savour this. This has been an outstanding performance. He crashed yesterday. He's lost time ever since his tour began with crashes. Now he gets his own back. He salutes the crowd. It won't be a maillot jaune for him, but he's won the stage here at Les Arcs. So Luc Leblanc has won the stage indeed that has seen Miguel Indurain lose minutes before the finish. And that is absolutely amazing. Luc Leblanc salutes the crowd. He gets the stage victory. Last year, he lost the whole year because his team disbanded literally days before the Tour de France began. He was down and literally out. Now he's back, and he's back as a winner in the Tour de France. And Laurent Dufaux, for a long way today, was riding into the yellow jersey, but not now, because you can see the wheels of the riders trying to pull him back. They're trying to take off him even second place, but he's found the legs to try and hang on in the sprint and grab second place. He deserves it. Laurent Dufaux, and it looks as though Rominger's going to come at him, another Swiss rider. But I think Dufaux is going to get swept away by a fabulously finishing Rominger. Toni Rominger will get second place. He's taken inspiration by the fact that Indurain has been dropped from that group. Rominger, who's concentrated on the Tour de France, will feel he is now the man to win this Tour. Toni Rominger comes to the line. He will get second place, and it might well be a yellow jersey will await him as well. The time will tell us that shortly. Rominger gets second, Luttenberger gets third, Virenque fourth, Dufaux fifth, and now Bjarne Riis comes in with Escartín, Berzin at the back of that little group. Here comes Miguel Indurain. You've never seen that face in so much pain in a Tour de France before. Alex Zülle has just finished in front of him, and now Miguel Indurain is going to be almost 4 minutes. In fact, he's going to be more than 4 minutes behind Luc Leblanc. And this is unbelievable. He's lost all of this time in the last 3 kilometres or so of the final mountain of the day. Indurain comes up to the line. His day is over, but is his Tour de France? Well, only time will tell us that. But look at the time gap he's got to make up now as we continue through the Alps tomorrow. 4 minutes and 19 seconds down today. Miguel Indurain, I can't believe it. It really had been a remarkable day, and the overall classification had changed wholesaledly. The new leader was the Russian now, Evgeny Berzin. but he was in the same time as the world champion Abraham Olano. They were divided by the tenths of a second which separated them in the opening time trial. Toni Rominger was now third, with the Dane Bjarne Riis fourth and the newcomer Jan Ullrich was fifth. Of the big names who had not enjoyed the day, Alex Zula was down to 11th, Miguel Indurain 14th, and he was also penalised a further 20 seconds for taking illegal drinks near the finish. Laurent Jalabert a lowly 24th. The second day in the Alps was the crucial first big time trial, and it would take a lot more than a painted down wall at Val d'Isère to hold back the floodwaters of this year's race. Miguel Indurain had rested overnight and came out fighting. At the finish of the 30 kilometres test from Bourg Saint-Maurice, he had set the best time to date, but although it was good, indications along the road suggested that it would not be good enough. In commentary, the face of Bjarne Riis, this man is a real fighter. He gives the Danes hope every year that soon they will get a winner of the Tour de France from Denmark. He was third a year ago. He's now coming up to the line with one of the best time trials of his life in the Tour de France, and he's going to finish ahead of Miguel Indurain. Here comes Bjarne Riis then to the line. He's still sprinting, this man. There's the time to beat of Miguel Indurain, 52.54. He's going to do it. Bjarne Riis had a great end to this time trial, 52.28, 26 seconds better than Miguel Indurain of Spain. Look at the effort here by the champion of Denmark for the second year, by the way. And he's always said he can win the Tour de France, and you know, very few people believe that, but he most certainly does. The crowd looking over the boards to see the world hour record holder arriving at the finish. There's the time of Indurain. He might be able to squeeze into second place and split Indurain from Bjarne Riis, but the clock is counting. Toni Rominger hits the line, 52.53. He gets second. So look at this now as Toni Rominger comes in towards the finish. There's the situation at 24 kilometres. Berzin, 24 seconds quicker than Riis. Rominger just finished and conceding almost a minute to Evgeny Berzin. So that says it all, doesn't it? Berzin is not going to concede that in the last 6 kilometres of cycling today. Abraham Olano, the world champion now. Rominger is in with 52.53 in second place. Olano now heading up to the line. He is going, I think, to slot in very, very close to the time of Toni Rominger.
Well, as we're looking at the race at the moment, Bjarne Riis is the new leader. He has finished. We have to wait for these final two men to come in. Abraham Olano has to come in with a time of 52 minutes and 35 seconds if he's to stay ahead of Bjarne Riis. And the last few riders have tended to crack over this final part of the course.
Riis, the time he did, 52 minutes 28 seconds. Now, can Abraham Olano beat that? I don't think he can, because he's already behind at all of the Czechs. It's been a tough ride for Olano, himself a great time trial rider. But even so, today I think the pressure of the Tour may have got to him a little bit. He started slower and he was dropping away from the leaderboard all the way up the mountain. There is, in fact, he's already gone slower than Rominger, and Riis, 52.28 is Riis the time to beat, and Olano crosses the line now. It's going to be 52.38. He's second. He's going to be ahead of Rominger, but behind Riis.
Well, a superb ride, but he's tended to crack over the last few kilometres as well. At the final time check, 24 kilometres, Evgeny Berzin still had 16 seconds advantage over Bjarne Riis. And this may well be the final and most important few kilometres of the time trial as Berzin comes here. He needs to cross the line in 52 minutes and 35 seconds to keep his lead. Otherwise, Bjarne Riis is going to be the new leader of the Tour de France this evening.
Well, I think that we're going to find here that Evgeny Berzin is pulling a superb ride right out of the bag, leading this race today from start to finish at every check. He was ahead of Bjarne Riis by 21 seconds at the first check. Then it was 14 seconds at the second check, 16 seconds at the third check. It's going to be close, but Evgeny Berzin has pulled out some great performances in his life. This will go down as the best. He won the Tour of Italy, you know, when that puts Marco Pantani to second and Miguel Indurain to third. Now he's come to the Tour de France. Bjarne Riis is on the board, but Evgeny Berzin is going to be on top of him. Evgeny Berzin, the maillot jaune of the Tour de France, top marks 51.53, a bettering of 35 seconds over Bjarne Riis. So after the first 9 days of this year's Tour de France, it's the Russian Evgeny Berzin who holds the lead, 43 seconds ahead of Bjarne Riis of Denmark and 45 seconds better than Spain's world champion Abraham Olano. Toni Rominger, the old hand, is also well up, as is the new boy Jan Ullrich, and with Miguel Indurain now up to 11th, clearly in the mood to fight back. The race goes further into the Alps now and then on into the Pyrenees, with all the hallmarks of this event becoming a vintage edition. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Until the next time, I'm Phil Liggett with the 83rd Tour de France saying so long until we meet again.